My husband had an affair with the mom of our daughter's friend, and now he's threatening me if I file for divorce. My husband and I have been married for 10 years. We have a 6-year-old daughter in kindergarten and an 11-month-old daughter. My daughter has really taken to school. She loves school, loves her class, has made so many friends. We are constantly busy with play dates, soccer, all of the things, she wants to do it all. My daughter goes to after-school care until my husband or I can pick her up. There are 1 to 2 nights a week where we can't get there by the cutoff time to pick her up. She has one friend from school who has a stay-at-home mom. This mom had offered to start picking my daughter up from school on those days and keeping her at their house for a few hours until we could pick her up. They live between my husband's work and our home, so he would end up picking her up from their house most days. She'd usually already have her homework done and eaten dinner. It was the perfect arrangement. I offered her money but she refused, so I try to contribute by sending snacks and sometimes a new game or something for my daughter to take over and share. In early March, my husband told me he didn't want our daughter going over there anymore. He told me I had to find a new arrangement. He said he thinks the mom drinks too much, he doesn't trust her. He doesn't want our daughter going to their house at all anymore or being friends with the little girl. I asked him what proof he had. He said she always has a glass of wine out when he goes to pick up our daughter, smells strongly of alcohol, like she didn't just pour the first glass of wine right before he got there, and has seemed tipsy on multiple occasions. I was shocked because I'm around the woman frequently and I've never suspected her of being drunk. I've never smelled alcohol on her. My husband is a police detective so he can be paranoid. He's done background checks on some parents of my daughter's friends before she's gone over to their houses for the first time. He's very protective of our kids. So, I thought maybe this was one of those scenarios. I know you should trust your spouse, but I was really having a hard time believing what he told me. I told him I'd like to go pick our daughter up the next few times and see for myself. He blew up at me for risking putting our daughter's life in danger just because I refused to believe him. He guilted me, made me feel like a terrible mom and wife. So, I ended up making new arrangements. Then, on April 9th I got a call from the dad of my daughter's friend, the woman's husband. He told me that my husband and his wife have been having an affair. He didn't have proof until then, which is why he hadn't told me yet. But it is why my husband suddenly didn't want our daughter going over there anymore. The other husband told me that he was there to confront my husband when he came to pick up our daughter one night and forbid my husband from ever stepping foot in their house again. He told me there was nothing said in front of the kids and there was no yelling or fighting. He confronted my husband outside, then told him to get our daughter and leave. He had no clue that my husband had told me all of this stuff about his wife essentially being an alcoholic. He said his wife drinks wine only, but she has a rule that she's only allowed to drink a glass after her kids are in bed. She doesn't have a drinking problem, but she has a lying, cheating problem. My husband made the whole thing up because he was too much of a puss to tell me the truth. The other husband was obviously very angry, but he was so kind to me about the whole thing. He told me he was so sorry he had to tell me this, but his conscience wouldn't let him not tell me. He was sure I'd probably never find out otherwise knowing my husband, and he was right. I didn't suspect anything like this. I had even asked a few other moms in my daughter's class about this woman's drinking and if they'd noticed anything. The man told me that the evidence he's gathered is painful and he's willing to share with me. Told me he advises that I don't actually look at it. I was speechless. I don't think I've ever been so caught off guard in my life. I just started sobbing. Literally fell down to the floor. I didn't feel ready to see whatever proof he had, so I asked just to see one thing that would let me know this guy was telling the truth. He sent me screenshots of text conversations between them. Detailed conversations, both sexual in nature and mentioning lies that they've told both of us when they've been together. Were they doing things together where the kids were present? That was one of the first thoughts. The other husband said no, he was usually home when my husband would come by to pick up my daughter. It was happening during the middle of the day when his younger kids were home sometimes. It was happening in their home and other places. I told myself I'd put on an act in front of my husband and not let him know that I knew about any of this. I couldn't do it. We went to bed that night and I finally broke. He was laying there in bed texting on his phone and I said, "Texting your alcoholic who are? Coming up with your next lie to go fug her?" I tried to grab his phone out of his hands, but he was able to react too quickly and pulled it away from my grasp. He denied it. He said I was crazy. He said the other husband is just mad that his wife's a drunk and that my husband exposed her, so now he's making stuff up, and why would I believe this man over my own husband? I told him I saw the text conversations. He said it's easy to make fake text screenshots and that I was so naive. I told him I didn't believe him and I wanted him out of our home immediately. I was shaking with rage. I've never felt scared about what I might do, but that's how I felt in that moment. I understand how crimes of passion happen now, I seriously do. He ended up going to a hotel the next night and he was there until yesterday. He came home yesterday. He admitted to sleeping with her. He told me he doesn't want to be that way anymore. He doesn't want to lie and cheat anymore, and he's sorry. He claims it's the only time he's ever done anything like that, and he doesn't know why he did it. It was just for the thrill of it, and he doesn't actually care about her at all. He begged me not to leave him, not to ruin our family and our kids' lives. He tried to guilt me for this. He's the one who ruined things, not me. He fed me every stupid line that cheaters always seem to say. I've never been with anyone who cheated on me, as far as I know, but I'm telling you that his little speech could have been stolen from a bad Lifetime movie. I'm so embarrassed that I'm planning to switch my daughter to a new school next year. I feel bad because she has so many friends. It makes me feel like a really bad mom, but there's no way I can face that woman. I will have to be in the same space as her over the next few months, and that'll be hard enough. It's humiliating. He says he won't let me screw him over or take all his money or his kids. He knows people and will make sure I get nothing if I divorce him. And I believe him. Honestly, all I feel now is despair and like I'm trapped.